Welcome back to Good News to Go. I'm Ren.
And I'm Mabel.
And we're bringing you the brightest stories from around the globe.
This week, smoking rates are at their lowest ever.
And we're discovering more about a long-lost shipwreck.
Black coffee and ginger are saving lives.
And Ireland takes a huge leap towards sustainability. 5 fast, feel-good stories. So we thought we'd start this week with one of our favorite topics, coffee, because now we know that black coffee, as in no sugar, no cream, is officially linked to a lower risk of death from all causes.
So a new study tracked 46,000 US adults for nearly a decade and found that people who drank 1 to 2 cups of caffeinated black coffee had about a 14% lower risk of all-cause mortality, including dying from heart disease. And
I mean, that's a huge difference, but apparently you completely wipe out the advantage if you add sugar or cream. Like, there's literally no extra benefit then. For me, I would literally rather just not drink coffee if it has to be black.
Yeah, black coffee is like legit gross, but I guess that's the only way that this works. So it's 1 to 3 cups a day, black or very lightly sweetened.
Well, that's great news for people who don't have taste buds.
So Ireland just shut down its last coal plant and officially became the 15th coal-free country in Europe.
Good for them. I guess this plant will stay on standby and burn heavy fuel only in cases of emergencies. And then that's planned to end in 2029.
Yeah, and I guess the country's going through some like renewable boom. So in 2024, wind generated about 37% of Ireland's electricity with solar on the rise.
And the plant in question is being reborn into a green energy hub. So we'll have offshore wind, hydrogen production, and grid stabilizing tech.
So with this, Ireland is actually joining Belgium, Sweden, Austria, Portugal, and the UK as countries that aren't using coal anymore.
And Italy and Spain are expected to follow this summer. So Europe's coal era is really dying. Next, we've got a historic scoop. So after 250 years, Australia says they've finally located Captain Cook's legendary ship, the HMS Endeavour, off the coast of Rhode Island.
Yeah, so this ship actually sank in 1778 during the American Revolution. And after 25 years of detective work, they've confirmed that this is that ship.
Well, some US researchers are still not convinced, but the Australians are calling it a done deal.
Yeah, the Australians are citing how the timbers and mast positions match Cook's original 1768 plans and like blueprints down to the millimeter.
Whoa. So for some background, in case you don't remember, Cook was a British explorer who mapped huge parts of the Pacific. So he basically helped redraw the map of the world. And I always wonder if Captain Cook inspired Captain Hook.
That's a good question. And I guess only 15% of the ship now is left. It's, I guess, slowly being eaten by shipworms. So conservation teams are just racing to protect what they can. So smoking is officially at its lowest levels ever, and young people are leading the way.
According to a massive JAMA study that tracked almost 1.8 million Americans over the last 30 years, smoking has plunged across the board with the steepest drop among young adults.
And researchers, I guess, are predicting that national smoking rates could dip below 5% by 2035 if these trends continue.
But unfortunately, vaping is still rising, and some worry that the tobacco industry is just swapping cigarettes for vapes, especially with like teens.
But still, the CDC did report that teen tobacco use, which includes vapes, dropped to the lowest since 1999.
Well, that's true. And I mean, this shift did not happen overnight. Think of all of the public health campaigns, laws, like taxes, just the cultural pressure. Like, I feel like it's the first time smoking is actually not cool to do.
According to the lead author of the study, the rapid decline in smoking among young adults is clear evidence that the smoking epidemic will come to an end in our lifetime.
And finally, ginger might interrupt the way cancer cells sustain themselves.
Right, so it turns out that our bodies and cancer cells need a lot of energy, and they usually get that by breaking down sugar. But this new study from Japan found that cancer cells also make their own fats to fuel growth.
And here's where ginger comes in, because there's a compound in ginger called ethyl p-methoxycinnamate.
Whoa.
Or EMC, that shuts down that fat-making machine, which disrupts the cell's power, and it makes the cells have to try to compensate by ramping up other processes. Scientists literally call this energy crisis sabotage.
And the lead scientist of this research even said that this gives us a fresh new angle beyond just sugar metabolism to kind of go after cancer's energy system and find new treatments that attack that.
Well, I guess ginger is just a superfood all around because other components have been found to arrest the cell cycle and trigger cell suicide across breast, prostate, lung, and pancreatic cancers. And that's a wrap on this week's Good News to Go. We hope you enjoyed the lineup.
Thanks for joining us, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more feel-good stories.
And we'll see you next week.